Today we're going to talk about the most carcinogenic food on the planet that you can possibly eat. And this is like a no joke. I am diving into a very current study that I found. I'm breaking it apart so you can understand this. So if you know anybody who has cancer or you're worried about getting cancer, this is the food you're going to want to avoid.
Meet Dr. Mindy Pelz. She is a leading expert in women's health and functional medicine, known for her work in promoting fasting, diet variation, and detox practices. Today we discuss the most harmful food that feeds cancer. What if I told you that something you eat almost every day could be quietly fueling cancer cells in your body? You might not even be aware of it, but this food is closely linked to one of the deadliest diseases in the world. And here's the scary part. It's everywhere, hidden in plain sight.
And let me explain to you what sugar does that causes you to contributes to a cancer diagnosis.
Today, we're revealing the shocking truth about sugar, the most dangerous food that feeds cancer. Cancer is a complicated disease with many causes, but recent research points more and more to our diet as a huge factor in how cancer develops. In today's world, food isn't just about keeping us full anymore. It's become a serious health risk.
There's a strong link between excess sugar consumption and cancer, especially later in life.
One food, in particular, sugar, something so common that it's in most of what we eat, has shown up as a major factor in helping cancer cells grow. A 2022 study published in the well-known Cancer Journal found a clear connection between eating too much sugar and a higher chance of getting cancer, especially as we get older. What they discovered is alarming. Sugar doesn't just cause obesity, which has been tied to cancer for a long time, but it also raises the cancer risk on its own, even for people who aren't overweight. So no matter what you look like on the outside, sugar could still be causing damage inside your body. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at why sugar is so harmful and how it creates the perfect environment for cancer cells to grow. This isn't just about avoiding weight gain or counting calories. It's about understanding how sugar messes with your body's normal functions and could lead to cancer. We'll break down the science to show you how sugar affects your cells, how it causes inflammation, and how it can lead to serious health issues like cancer. Plus, we'll talk about easy steps you can take to lower your sugar intake and protect yourself from its harmful effects. At first glance, sugar seems like a simple, everyday ingredient, but when we dig deeper and look at the latest scientific research, we find that sugar is far more dangerous than we ever thought. Cancer doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's the result of years of small, daily choices adding up and setting the stage for disease. Sugar is a big part of this by feeding cancer cells, weakening the immune system, and throwing your body's metabolism out of balance. In upcoming part of this video, we'll cover how sugar impacts your body at the cellular level, how it leads to inflammation, and why cutting back on sugar is so important if you want to lower your risk of cancer and other long-term diseases. Knowing how sugar affects your body might just be the key to staying healthy in the years to come. So, if you or someone you care about is worried about cancer, this is information you won't want to miss because sugar could be causing more harm than you ever realized. Let's dive in and uncover the dark side of sugar, and more importantly, learn what you can do to protect your health from here on out. How sugar fuels cancer. Sugar's connection to cancer isn't just a theory, it's a process deeply rooted in how our cells work. To grasp how sugar fuels cancer, we need to look at what happens inside your body, especially the mitochondria, which are like tiny power plants within your cells. These mitochondria generate energy by converting nutrients into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is used to power everything from cell repair to your immune system. However, when you eat too much sugar, it throws this process off balance. Sugar molecules, specifically glucose, flood your cells, and the mitochondria become overwhelmed. Instead of working properly, they start to malfunction, leading to a state called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is when your body has more harmful free radicals than protective antioxidants. This imbalance damages your cells, especially the mitochondria, making it harder for them to keep your cells clean and healthy. This is where cancer can take root. When mitochondria stay damaged for too long, they start to lose control of their normal functions. Instead of supporting healthy cell activity, these malfunctioning mitochondria can cause normal cells to transform into cancer cells. Excess glucose creates a toxic environment in your cells, where the mitochondria can't clean up damage effectively, leading to mutations and the eventual development of cancer. The connection between sugar and cancer becomes even clearer when we look at how cancer cells use sugar. While normal cells can switch between different energy sources, cancer cells are heavily dependent on glucose. This is known as the Warburg effect. Cancer cells consume sugar at a much faster rate because they primarily rely on glycolysis, a process that breaks down glucose for energy. This is why sugar feeds cancer cells, helping them grow and multiply quickly. The more sugar you eat, the more fuel cancer cells have to thrive. It's not just glucose that fuels cancer. Fructose, found in high fructose corn syrup and sugary drinks, also speeds up cancer growth. Studies show that fructose, like glucose, increases the spread of cancer cells. So, the large amounts of sugar in processed foods are essentially creating ideal conditions for cancer to grow. What's especially alarming about sugar is that its harmful effects aren't limited to people who are overweight or obese. Many people assume that weight gain is the main sign of health issues, but the truth is, sugar can cause damage regardless of your weight. Thin people who eat a lot of sugar are just as at risk of developing cancer as those who are overweight. This is why it's crucial to realize that sugar's harm goes beyond weight gain. It directly contributes to diseases like cancer by changing the environment inside your cells. As we move forward, we'll explore how sugar doesn't just fuel cancer, but also triggers chronic inflammation and disrupts your metabolism. Both of these are key factors in the development and progression of cancer. Understanding these processes will help you see why cutting back on sugar is one of the most important steps you can take for your long-term health. Connection between sugar, inflammation, and metabolism. The link between sugar and inflammation is complicated but vital to understanding how sugar can lead to cancer. Chronic inflammation is often called the silent killer because it can happen without obvious symptoms, slowly damaging your body over time. When you eat sugar, especially in large amounts, it can trigger inflammatory responses that hurt your metabolism and overall health. To understand how sugar causes inflammation, let's look at what happens when you consume it. When you eat sugar, your body releases insulin, a hormone that helps control blood sugar levels. However, eating too much sugar can lead to insulin resistance, a situation where your cells stop responding properly to insulin. In this case, your body compensates by producing even more insulin, creating a cycle that can spiral out of control. High levels of insulin in your bloodstream can increase inflammation, especially in your arteries. Inflammation is a natural response your body has to injury or infection, meant to protect and heal you. But when inflammation is low grade and lasts a long time, often triggered by a diet high in sugar and refined carbs, it can lead to serious health problems, including cancer. Studies have shown that inflammation can interfere with your body's metabolism, which is how it processes fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. When inflammation is present, it messes with metabolic pathways, causing a buildup of fatty acids and lipids in your blood. This can worsen metabolic disorders and raise your risk for chronic diseases, including cancer. A key role of inflammation in the development of cancer is how it affects your immune system. Chronic inflammation can weaken your immune responses, making it harder for your body to find and eliminate abnormal cells that could become cancerous. When your immune system is suppressed, cancer cells can slip by undetected and continue to grow. Additionally, inflammatory cytokines, proteins that help signal immune responses, can encourage tumor growth and survival, creating a more supportive environment for cancer to develop. On top of increasing inflammation, sugar also disrupts important metabolic processes. When you consume large amounts of sugar, it floods your bloodstream, causing a spike in blood glucose levels and leading to more insulin being released. Over time, this can lead to metabolic syndrome, which includes conditions like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, extra body fat around the waist, and unhealthy cholesterol levels. Each of these conditions raises the risk of serious health problems, including type 2 diabetes and various cancers. Metabolic syndrome itself is a major risk factor for cancer. Research shows that people with metabolic syndrome have a higher chance of developing cancers, such as breast, colorectal, and pancreatic cancer. This increased risk comes from a mix of insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and hormonal imbalances, issues that are all worsened by a high-sugar diet. A 2022 study published in the Cancer Journal found that diets high in sucrose or fructose activate several biological pathways related to inflammation and lipid metabolism. These pathways create a setting that is favorable for chronic diseases, including cancer. Therefore, the effects of sugar on your metabolic health are extensive and should be taken seriously. Understanding these mechanisms not only highlights the risks of eating too much sugar, but also stresses the importance of making smart dietary choices to help prevent cancer. In the next section, we will explore the broader effects of sugar on metabolic disorders and how these connections reinforce the need to cut down on sugar for better health. Sugar and metabolic disorders connection. As we explore the link between sugar and health, it's clear that eating too much sugar is closely tied to various metabolic disorders, which can significantly increase the risk of developing cancer. Metabolic disorders include a variety of conditions that affect how your body uses food for energy and keeps everything balanced internally. Understanding how sugar plays a role in these disorders is important for realizing the broader impact it has on cancer risk. One of the most common metabolic disorders related to high sugar intake is insulin resistance. This condition happens when the cells in the body become less sensitive to insulin, the hormone that helps move glucose from the bloodstream into cells. When people consume more sugar, especially from sugary drinks and processed foods, the pancreas works harder to produce more insulin. Over time, this can lead to chronically high insulin levels, which causes insulin resistance. This not only disrupts blood sugar control, but also affects many body functions, increasing the risk of conditions like type 2 diabetes. The link between insulin resistance and cancer risk is supported by increasing evidence. Studies show that high insulin levels can encourage the growth and survival of cancer cells, as insulin acts as a strong growth factor. Furthermore, insulin resistance often comes with chronic inflammation, creating an environment that is perfect for cancer to develop and thrive. Additionally, insulin resistance is often connected to metabolic syndrome, a collection of health issues that includes obesity, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol levels. The rates of metabolic syndrome in the general population are concerning. Research indicates that only about 12% of Americans are metabolically healthy, and this number dropped to as low as 8% during the COVID-19 pandemic. This widespread metabolic dysfunction greatly raises the risk of different cancers, such as colorectal, breast, and prostate cancers. Obesity is another metabolic disorder closely associated with high sugar consumption. The typical Western diet, which includes too much refined sugar, unhealthy fats, and processed carbohydrates, has contributed to rising obesity rates globally. Being obese is a well-known risk factor for cancer because fat tissue isn't just passive. It produces hormones and inflammatory substances that can support tumor growth. For instance, excess fat tissue can increase estrogen levels, a hormone linked to breast and endometrial cancers. Moreover, fat cells release pro-inflammatory cytokines, which worsen inflammation and insulin resistance. Another important aspect is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. High sugar intake, especially from fructose, has been associated with fat buildup in the liver. NAFLD can lead to more serious liver problems and is linked to a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes and certain cancers. Since the liver plays a crucial role in breaking down carbohydrates and fats, when it gets overwhelmed with sugar, it can lead to metabolic issues and a higher cancer risk. As we look at how sugar affects metabolic health, it's vital to recognize that these disorders are interconnected. When one disorder is present, it often makes the others worse, creating a cycle that significantly increases cancer risk. Understanding these relationships shows that cutting back on sugar isn't just about preventing weight gain. It's also about tackling the root causes of metabolic dysfunction and reducing the risk of cancer. In the next part of this video, we'll discuss practical strategies for reducing sugar in your diet. We'll focus on actionable steps you can take to improve your health and lower your cancer risk. How to removing sugar from your diet. Cutting back on sugar is one of the best ways to boost your health and lower your chances of getting cancer and other long-lasting illnesses. While the thought of ditching sugar may feel overwhelming, especially since it's so common in many foods, knowing some practical steps can help you make better choices for your body. 1. Identify hidden sugars. The first step in reducing sugar is figuring out where it's hiding in your meals. Many processed foods, even those that claim to be healthy, often have added sugars. Breakfast cereals, sauces, salad dressings, and packaged snacks are usually the biggest offenders. Always check nutrition labels for ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, or any type of syrup, as these mean extra sugar is added. A smart tip is to try to avoid foods that have more than 5 grams of sugar per serving and to choose whole, unprocessed foods whenever you can. 2. Implement fasting practices. Fasting has become a popular method for not only reducing sugar cravings, but also improving overall metabolic health. Intermittent fasting, for example, involves alternating between eating and not eating for certain periods. This practice can help balance insulin levels, lower inflammation, and encourage cellular repair, which is a process called autophagy that clears out damaged cells. Studies show that fasting can reduce the total number of calories you eat, making it easier to cut back on sugar without feeling deprived. If you're new to fasting, you might start with a simple 12-hour fast overnight and then gradually extend the fasting windows as you get used to it. 3. Explore healthier alternatives. When you're reducing sugar, it's important to find tasty substitutes that won't harm your health. Natural sugar alternatives like coconut sugar, monk fruit, and stevia can add sweetness without the negative effects of refined sugars. For example, coconut sugar has a lower glycemic index and even includes some trace nutrients, making it a better choice for baking. Monk fruit and stevia are both non-caloric sweeteners that can sweeten your drinks and desserts without raising blood sugar levels. 4. Focus on whole foods. Eating a diet full of whole, unprocessed foods is crucial for cutting down on sugar. Aim to fill your plate with fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. These foods are not only naturally low in sugar, but also loaded with vital nutrients that help your metabolism and fight inflammation. For instance, leafy greens, berries, nuts, and seeds contain antioxidants that can help combat oxidative stress and lower the risk of chronic diseases. 5. Plan your meals and snacks. Planning your meals is a smart way to avoid the temptation of sugary snacks. By preparing healthy meals and snacks in advance, you make sure you have nutritious choices ready when hunger strikes. Incorporating high-fiber foods like legumes, whole grains, and veggies can help keep your blood sugar steady and make you feel fuller for longer. When you feel satisfied with healthy foods, you're less likely to crave sugary treats. 6. Mind your beverages. Drinks can sneak in a lot of hidden sugars, especially sweet beverages like sodas, fruit juices, and energy drinks. Choosing water, herbal teas, or unsweetened drinks can dramatically lower your sugar intake. If you want something sweet, think about infusing water with fresh fruits or herbs for natural flavor without adding sugar. 7. Educate yourself and stay accountable. Finally, learning about sugar and its effects on your health is essential for making lasting changes. Understanding how sugar impacts your body can motivate you to stick to your goals. You might also want to join a supportive community or an online group focused on reducing sugar intake, where you can share experiences and help each other stay on track. By following these practical steps, you can significantly lower your sugar consumption, which can reduce your risk of cancer and other chronic illnesses. The path to eliminating sugar from your diet takes dedication and patience, but the long-term health benefits are definitely worth the effort. In the final section, we'll recap why these changes matter and inspire you to take control of your health for a brighter future. In conclusion, as we wrap up our discussion on how sugar impacts our health, particularly its role in fueling cancer and causing metabolic disorders, it's crucial to recognize the significance of our dietary choices. The evidence is clear. Excessive sugar consumption increases the risk of serious health issues and creates an environment conducive to the growth of cancer cells. Understanding these connections empowers you to take control of your health and make positive changes that can lower your risk. We've highlighted several key points. Sugar serves as a primary energy source for cancer cells, particularly in the forms of glucose and fructose, which aid their growth and survival through the phenomenon known as the Warburg effect. Moreover, sugar contributes to chronic inflammation, a major factor that elevates cancer risk by weakening the immune system and fostering an environment for cancer development. There's also a robust link between sugar and metabolic disorders like insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, which can further compromise your overall health and act as precursors to cancer. However, practical steps can be taken to reduce sugar intake, such as identifying hidden sugars, opting for healthier alternatives, focusing on whole foods, meal planning, and being mindful of beverages consumed. Fasting can also aid in breaking free from sugar dependence. Controlling your diet involves more than just eliminating sugar. It's about embracing a holistic approach to health that emphasizes nutritious foods and sustainable lifestyle changes. To kick off this journey, consider starting small by choosing one area in your diet to reduce sugar, such as swapping sugary drinks for water or opting for whole fruits and nuts instead of processed snacks. Additionally, prioritize educating yourself about nutrition and health through reliable sources like books, reputable health websites, and organizations. Connecting with a community of like-minded individuals can provide encouragement and accountability, whether through online forums or local support groups. Monitoring your progress through a food journal can help you track sugar intake and observe how your body responds to dietary changes, reinforcing your motivation to stay on course. If you're unsure where to start, consulting a registered dietitian or healthcare professional can offer personalized guidance tailored to your health needs. By actively working to reduce sugar in your diet, you're not only benefiting yourself, but also contributing to the fight against the chronic diseases that affect millions worldwide. Remember, it's never too late to make healthier choices. Your body and future self will appreciate it. As you continue on this path, keep in mind that combating sugar isn't just about cutting calories. It's about reclaiming your health, enhancing your quality of life, and protecting yourself from cancer and other chronic diseases. Take that first step today, and let's work together toward a healthier future. Thank you for joining me on this vital journey toward better health.